Want to escape the soul-crushing grind of your 9 to 5? Ready to live life on your own terms while sipping cocktails on a beach or working from a cafe in a city you've only dreamed of? Forget the expensive travel myths, they're overrated. In 2025, you can live in a city that's not just cheap, but without sacrificing comfort or your lifestyle. You want adventure, culture, and excitement? You can have it all for under $1,500 a month. These aren't your typical tourist traps. We're talking about digital nomad hotspots that are more than just Instagram-worthy places that actually make sense financially. So grab your passport and let's dive in, because the world is waiting, and it's a lot cheaper than you think. First up, the city that's practically the mecca of digital nomads, Chiang Mai, Thailand. You've probably heard the hype about it being the digital nomad capital of the world, and guess what? The hype's not exaggerated. You can live here comfortably for under $1,500 a month, rent included. Let that sink in. In a world where you can barely afford rent in a US city for that price, you could be sipping Thai iced tea on a mountain in Chiang Mai. But it's not just about cheap living, it's the lifestyle that comes with it. Rent? A fully furnished apartment can cost you as little as $250 a month. Seriously, that's less than your Starbucks addiction back home. But here's the catch. Chiang Mai isn't just for backpackers. It's home to a global network of entrepreneurs, freelancers, and creators, so the opportunities are endless. Oh, and did I mention the street food? You can eat like royalty on $2 a day. Where else can you get a legit meal for that price? What's not to love about a life where the only thing that could break your budget is overindulging in pad thai? Whether you're a night owl working from a buzzing co-working space or a nature lover needing a weekend escape into the mountains, Chiang Mai has you covered. Plus, the vibe is laid back, because when you're surrounded by temples and rice fields, you just can't take life too seriously. Next stop, Lisbon, because sometimes we all dream of a little European escape. And guess what? Lisbon isn't the dream-destroying price tag you think it is. In fact, it's 35% cheaper than Paris, and honestly, it's just as good, if not better. For $1,200 to $1,500 a month, you're not just living in a European city, you're living in one of the coolest cities in Europe. Think beautiful architecture, ocean views, and a blend of old-world charm with a thriving startup scene. It's like being part of something exciting without the steep costs of other European capitals. Lisbon is also a digital nomad playground. You'll find co-working spaces that could easily pass as Silicon Valley-style incubators, high-speed internet, quirky cafes, and the kind of creative energy you can only find in a city that thrives on tech, art, and adventure. And don't get me started on the food. The pastéis de nata are so good, they might ruin your diet. But here's the kicker. Lisbon is a gateway to Western Europe. It's not just about the city, it's about the whole continent. Cheap weekend flights to Paris, Madrid, and beyond mean your weekends are an adventure. Why live in that stuffy office cubicle when you could be hopping from country to country every month? And let's be real, everyone's looking for that European vibe without the price tag. In Lisbon, you're getting the best of both worlds. Next, let's talk about Belgrade, Serbia, the place that's flying under the radar but should be on your list. If you thought living in Europe meant emptying your bank account, think again. Belgrade costs 58.9% less than London. That's right, 58.9%. You could live like royalty in Belgrade for just $900 to $1,400 per month. Rent is dirt cheap. Apartments for under $500 are easy to find. And the food, incredible. If you love grilled meats and hearty dishes, you'll be eating like a king for pennies. Cevapi, anyone? But here's the kicker. Belgrade is an up-and-coming tech hub. The digital nomad scene here is thriving. Co-working spaces are springing up everywhere, and the city is becoming a hotspot for startups. So not only can you live affordably, you can network and grow your business in one of Europe's most exciting emerging cities. Plus, it's not just about work. Belgrade's nightlife is legendary. River clubs, bars with views, and an energy that keeps you up until the early morning hours. Work hard, play harder, right? All right, we talked about Asia, we've talked about Europe. Now let's dive into the ultimate history lesson with a modern twist: Athens, Greece. You know Athens, right? The birthplace of democracy, philosophy, and all those ancient ruins we pretend to understand. But here's the shocking part: Athens is actually 39% cheaper than the US. You can live in Athens for as little as $1,200 per month and still have cash for lunch at a Greek taverna. Rent is cheap and food is fresh. Greek cuisine is a game changer. Think grilled seafood, moussaka, and don't even get me started on baklava. But Athens is more than just a city for history buffs. The digital nomad scene here is exploding. Co-working spaces are on the rise, and the energy of the city will keep you inspired. Whether you're working in the shadow of the Acropolis or at a cafe by the sea, the city inspires productivity. And let's talk about that Greek island fantasy. Weekends, hop on a ferry, and you're on Santorini or Mykonos. If that doesn't scream living the dream, I don't know what does. All right, this one might surprise you, but hear me out. Tbilisi, Georgia. Now you might be thinking, wait, Georgia, like the state in the US? Nope, we're talking about the country tucked away between Europe and Asia, and it's rapidly becoming a top pick for digital nomads. The price tag? Insane. $900 to $2,400 a month. Yeah, you read that right. You can live in a city with centuries of history for what most of us spend on rent alone in major cities. But it gets better. First off, no visa required for most nationalities. That's right, no hoops to jump through, no expensive paperwork. You could literally show up tomorrow and start living your best life. Tbilisi is the kind of place where you get to create your own rules. Imagine living in a city with an incredible mix of cultures, languages, and cuisines, where you can enjoy mountain hikes in the morning and wine tasting in the afternoon. And trust me, this isn't just any wine. Georgia's considered the birthplace of wine. They've been making wine for over 8,000 years, and some of the best natural wines in the world come from right here. The city itself is an Instagrammer's dream. Think colorful streets lined with quirky cafes, ancient churches on every corner, and a mix of Soviet-era architecture that gives Tbilisi a unique, almost edgy vibe. And the best part? It's ridiculously cheap. You'll be living in a gorgeous apartment for less than you're probably paying for your morning coffee back home. You can get by on $200 a month for rent, and for that, you'll get a place with views of the Caspian Sea or breathtaking mountains. If you want to upgrade to something more luxurious, it's still only going to cost you $600 to $800 a month, a fraction of what you'd pay in Western Europe or the US. And if you love history and culture, get ready to be blown away. Tbilisi is a city that's always evolving, but it hasn't forgotten its roots. You'll find medieval churches, ancient fortresses, and streets that tell stories of invasions, empires, and the rich blend of cultures that have shaped this country for millennia. Whether you're wandering through the Narikala fortress, exploring the old town with its iconic balconies, or checking out the famous sulfur baths, Tbilisi is a city that demands you slow down and appreciate its beauty. But wait, there's more. When you're done with your workday, Tbilisi turns into a party paradise. The city's nightlife is a well-kept secret, with underground clubs and artsy cocktail bars hidden in the most unexpected places. And don't forget the annual Tbilisi Open Air Festival, where you'll get to party with locals and fellow nomads in one of the coolest settings imaginable. Not to mention, there are a ton of digital nomad meetups, so when you're not at a co-working space, you'll be networking with creatives, tech entrepreneurs, and artists from all over the world. If you're tired of the usual routine, Tbilisi offers a perfect balance of modern-day perks and a sense of adventure. Mountain views, wine, vibrant nightlife, rich culture, and a cost of living that'll make you feel like you've won the lottery. If you're ready to take your digital nomad life to the next level, Tbilisi might just be your ultimate base. And trust me, this place is still under the radar. That means you're one of the cool kids who discovered it before it becomes the next big thing. Get there before everyone else does. So there you have it, 5 destinations that will have you questioning why you're still sitting at your desk. These cities aren't just affordable, they're game changers. If you're looking to level up your life, why not start in one of these? If this video lit a fire under you, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and drop a comment telling us which place you're packing your bags for. Until next time, go ahead, live anywhere. You can afford it.